You ever feel like the people closest to you were the ones who hurt you the most? That's Joseph's story. He wasn't stabbed in the back by strangers. It was his own brothers. They hated him. They sold him. But what they didn't know is they were setting him up for something greater. Stick with me. This story, it's wild, and it'll change how you see pain and betrayal. So Joseph was just 17, young, dreamer, and his dad, Jacob, straight up favored him, gave him a fancy robe, a robe that said, "I'm special." That didn't sit right with his brothers. On top of that, Joseph starts having dreams, big dreams. He tells his brothers, "Hey, I had a dream y'all were bowing to me." Yeah, not the smartest move. They already didn't like him. Now they hated him. One day, Joseph's dad sends him to check on his brothers in the fields. They see him coming from far away, and they say, "Here comes that dreamer." They plot. Some wanted to kill him, but one of them was like, "Nah, let's just throw him in a pit." So they grab him, rip off his robe, throw him in a deep hole, and then this happens. Genesis 37, verse 28. So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. 20 silver coins. They sold their own brother like he was nothing. Then they lied to their dad, said Joseph was dead. Imagine that. Your blood turns their back on you. For cash. Now Joseph is in Egypt, alone. No family, no rights, no voice. He gets sold again to a man named Potiphar. But Joseph keeps his head down. He works hard. God's favor is still on him. Potiphar trusts him with everything, but then, bam, Potiphar's wife tries to seduce him. Joseph says no. She lies on him. Now Joseph's in prison. Man, think about it. He did nothing wrong. Betrayed by brothers, lied on by a woman, locked up for something he didn't do. But even in the prison, he stayed faithful, and God stayed with him. That's the kind of character Joseph had. He wasn't just waiting for the blessing, he was working in the dark. Years pass, Joseph's still in prison. Then Pharaoh has these dreams. No one can explain them, but someone remembers. Hey, there's this young man in prison who can interpret dreams. So Joseph gets called up. He tells Pharaoh exactly what the dreams mean. 7 years of good harvest, then 7 years of famine. And he gives Pharaoh a game plan. Pharaoh's like, "You're the man." Just like that, Joseph becomes second in command in Egypt. Amazing, right? From a pit to a prison, now a palace. That's how God works. Now here's the twist. The famine hits hard. Joseph's brothers, who think he's long gone, come to Egypt for food. They stand in front of him, but don't recognize him. Joseph sees them. He remembers everything. The pit, the pain, the betrayal. But instead of revenge, he chooses mercy. And when he finally reveals himself, they're terrified. They think he's going to punish them. But Joseph says this, Genesis 50, verse 20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." That line right there, that's the whole message. They meant to break him. God used it to bless everybody. So what does that mean for you? Maybe you've been betrayed. Maybe you're in a pit season. Maybe people walked out, lied on you, sold you short. But listen, God's not done. Joseph didn't see the plan when he was crying in the pit. But later he realized every piece of pain had purpose. That betrayal, God flipped it. That prison, God used it. And that dream, it still came true. So don't give up. Don't let betrayal define you. Let it position you, because what they meant for evil, God can still use for good.